Welcome back once again to your YouTube channel ENC Achievement. In this episode, we are going to concentrate on the textual activities of the poem Rise. Now, textual activities, read and respond. Of all the memories of his homeland, the narrator thinks of Rise first. What does this show? Of all the memories of his homeland, the narrator thinks of rice first. What does this show? It shows the narrator's love for rice. For the last 4 years, he has been eating chapatis in North India. Since he is a rice eater, he craves for rice. He wanted to eat rice, means his strong desire to eat rice. What are the memories of the narrator about the paddy cultivating season? What are the memories of the narrator about the paddy cultivating season? The narrator remembers his father working in the fields below his house. He is wearing a handloom dhoti stained with yellow mud. He is excited about the water of the Varankanal Canal. He also remembers his little brother carrying the tender saplings to be planted where the plowing is done. Baskets full of seeds are kept on the dike. There is the shouting of farmers as the oxen draw the plow in the field. The narrator wants to train. The narrator wants the train to move a little faster. What does this tell us about his feelings for his native village? Please listen. The question is telling that the narrator is traveling. Now he is traveling in the train to reach his native village. And the narrator is telling the train to move a little faster. So what does this tell us about his feeling for his native village? It tells the narrator's desire, strong wish to reach the village as early as possible. He has been missing the native village for the last 4 years. It means the native village for the last 4 years. Here we see the nostalgic feelings of the narrator. Read and respond question number 4. What changes in the native village does the narrator notice on his return? You see, there are so many changes happened in his native village for the last 4 years. Let us see what are the changes that have taken place. The palm thatched houses have disappeared. Only rubber plants could be seen there. No rice fields are seen there. No noises of people below the field. No shouts of plowing. The whole field is planted with arecanut palms. There are deerwood trees in the corner along the canal. Question number 5. Rubber plants have taken the place of paddy. What does this imply? It implies that food crops are replaced by cash or commercial crops. Commercial crops give the farmers better money. People no more need to cultivate their favorite varieties of rice like Atikira, Motan, and Vellaram. Farmers now survive on, they live on the rations that consist of wheat. The sixth question is, only fools turn to rice farming for gain. Why does the father say so? The father says so. So means only fools turn to rice farming for gain. Says so because nobody promotes the farming of rice, which was quite inconvenient and uneconomical. For example, plowing the field and watering it and planting the saplings and taking care of them is actually an inconvenient cultivation. Paddy field cultivation or paddy cultivation is really inconvenient and uneconomical. No more money is gained. Rubber brings better money. That means commercial crops. Rubber brings better money. And in addition to all these things, the government gives rice to those who have no paddy fields. What does ship of the sky represent? We know in the poem Rise, ship of the sky is aeroplane as camel is the ship of the desert. The ship of the sky represents the aeroplane as camel represents the ship of the desert. Eighth question. Can we get some husk from the center too to make toys with it? Bring out the satire in these lines. The narrator had gained a 4-year research doctoral degree on making toys with the husk from North India. Now he comes back to Kerala to find out that there is no more rice cultivation here, and consequently, as a result, no husk to make toys with. To make toys with the husk, the narrator thinks whether he has to ask for husk from the center. He did the research to help the state to find employment and generate income. What use the state will have now with his doctorate? Remember here, he did the research to help the state to find employment. To is wrong. So after help, there won't be infinite form of the verb. So to should be cut down there. To should be cut down. So then only I will read that once. And he did the research to help the state find employment and generate income. What use the state will have now with his doctorate? That is actually the important question. Bring out the satire. Actually, he went for doing a doctoral degree, especially or specializing in making toys with the husk because he sees that there are more husk in his native village since there is a more paddy cultivation. But when he came back after 4 years having completed his doctoral degree, there are no paddy cultivation, or there is no paddy cultivation. As a result, there is no husk. So his doctoral degree is waste. He cannot create more opportunities. That means employment opportunities, and he cannot generate income. That is what. Now we will go to the next question. Think and write. So here you must think the questions and write valuable points for the question. Let us see what is the first question. Why does the narrator feel confused as he walks home? You see, after having completed his doctoral degree from North India, and he is visiting his native village after 4 years. He sees so many changes in his native village, and he was confused whether is this the way to his home. I read the answer. Because after 4 years of gap, there had been complete change in his native village. Palm thatched houses were all disappeared. The narrator could see only rows of rubber plants grown twice its height on the ridge around him. The modern and Vellaran varieties of rice were not seen. Such a change confused the narrator. The second question of think and write is, why does the father wear a contented? Contented spelling is Contented, not DED, TED. Please try to write in your textbook also, you can see TED, contented. TED. Contented means satisfied look. Contented. Contented. Father was excited about the water of the Warangal Canal, which gives enough water for his rubber plantation. That is why father is wearing or is putting on a contented, satisfied look. Because father was excited about the water of Canal, which gives enough water for his rubber plantation. Third question, what changes have occurred? Occurred means happened in the lifestyle of the farmers when they shifted from food crops to cash crops. So that is a very important thing. So there are many changes happened or occurred in the lifestyle of the farmers when they shifted from food crops to cash crops. The life has become comparatively easy. First point, life has become comparatively easy. Farmers need not to struggle in the field wearing wet and muddy clothes. Hard work is completely stopped. Rice farming is quite inconvenient and uneconomical. Farmers find a substantiation. Why did they shift from food crops to cash crops? That means rice farming is quite inconvenient and uneconomical. On the other hand, cash crops bring the farmers better money and better life. But they have to eat wheat instead of favorite varieties of rice. Read the following lines from the poem and note how the poet has satirized the shift from paddy cultivation to rubber planting. My father says with obvious pride, with a clear pride, son, we have stopped working on all the rice. It was quite inconvenient. Cite other instances of satire in the poem. So there are so many instances in the poem which cite satire. Let us see what are the lines from the poem. Only fools turn rice farming for gain. Only fools turn rice farming for gain. The government gives rice to those who don't have paddy fields. The narrator wants to eat Atikira rice, but his younger brother, there is a double his there, please cut to one. But his younger brother is bringing the ration for the household which consists of only wheat. The chief minister is flying like an arrow to the center to clamor for more grains. Can we get some husk from the center too to make toys with it? This is the biggest satire because he has a doctorate on making toys with the husk. So these are the lines which give an example of a satire. Satirism is running throughout the poem. Then we will go to the next question. The poem is a contrast between expectations and reality. Prepare a write-up substantiating it. The poem is exactly a contrast between expectations and reality. The narrator goes, please, there is no double S, goes, only single S, Goes, goes to North India to do a research on making toys with the husk, as there is a lot of husk in Kerala because of a huge amount of paddy cultivation. He spends, spends, there is a T is wrong. He spends, spends, he spends 4 years and gets a doctorate. The narrator plans to use his knowledge and expertise to make toys with the husk for creating employment opportunities and generating income. But when he comes back with his doctorate, the paddy fields have been replaced by rubber plantations. No husk. The narrator is tired of eating chapatis day after day, and he longs to eat his favorite Atikara rice. When he comes back, he is surprised to see his younger brother bringing wheat as the ration for the whole family. Now he has to continue eating chapati again in his native village. You see, that is what actually the contrast between expectations and the reality. The narrator came back with the full of expectations to eat his favorite rice, Atikara rice, and also to make or to create more employment opportunities by making toys with the husk. By the time paddy cultivation has been replaced by rubber plantation, no husk available. That is why the poem is a contrast between or an opposite between or what do we call it as opposite description between expectations and reality. Now we will pass on to the next question. Comment on the style of writing of the poem. Style of the writing of the poem. The poem is written in a colloquial style. Colloquial style means informal conversational style. just like a friend's conversation. The poem is written in a colloquial style, conversational style. Hence, the poem is translated from the Malayalam original. A number of Malayalam words are used in it. A number of Malayalam words are used in it. For example, various varieties of rice that Keralites cultivate here are Attikira, Modan, Vellaram, etc. The imagery, word pictures, the imagery is quite good. The picture of the father wearing a mud-stained dhoti and working in his field. The plowing scene, rubber trees on the ridge and dealwood trees along the canal. The picture of the father sitting and watching workers fixing the machine for making rubber sheets. The narrator's little brother running in with the ration, and tripping and falling down, scattering the wheat he has brought, and the picture of the aeroplane carrying the chief minister flying to the center over the cash crops to clamor for more grain. The stanzas in the poem are irregular, sometimes 4-line stanzas, sometimes 5 lines, and there are 3 6-line stanzas. There is also a 2-line stanza in the end, and Rice is a prose poem. Being a satirical poem, the style is simple, direct, and lucid. Lucid means easy to understand. And this style suits the theme. I hope you have got sufficient notes. In the coming episode, we will have notes on the critical appreciation of the poem and activity 2 write up and activity 3 paragraph writing, and hope you will all watch and take note systematically, and wish you all the success. Thank you very much.